So I'll talk in detail about our work now. So volunteering with STEM Ladies Summit. What is volunteering? A simple definition I found online was giving your time and effort to a cause. Somebody's microphone is on. Philomena, is that you? Yeah. So giving your time and effort to a cause without payment. That's simply what volunteering is. And then for us in the STEM Lady Summit, what does this mean? This could be organizing STEM clubs in schools, tutoring a STEM subject once a week, participating in an established mentorship program, assisting with research projects at a university, organizing and participating in campaigns to raise awareness about the importance of STEM. Now, let me go into a bit more detail. What would a STEM club in a school be like? Okay, so there are so many ways to teach people about science and technology. You could go to a school, suggest to them that you want to organize a club once a week for an hour every week. You gather people who are interested in becoming the next Bill Gates, the next Mark Zuckerberg, the next innovators and inventors. You bring them together, you talk to them. Maybe you could say, oh, today we're going to build a simple robot using cardboard. It doesn't even have to be anything fancy. Simple robot using cardboard. I've once volunteered somewhere at a library close to my house and they were teaching children how to build an alarm system using cardboard. It was a very fun stuff. It doesn't have to be expensive. Or you could tutor a science subject once a week. I currently have some volunteers that are tutoring physics and mathematics once a week to a group of children in my community in New. Like they do that every week. If you go to my Instagram, you see at some point I was raising money to buy calculators for those children. So like you could gather, if you go to parents, there are so many parents that cannot afford lesson teachers. Find those kind of parents, go to schools, announce, I'm taking on tutees that I'm going to be teaching physics for free once a week for 2 hours. Trust me, you're going to find you're going to be the one to choose who you're not going to take. So like that's how to help out. Either physics or mathematics, this kind of subjects that make people run away from STEM is usually physics or chemistry or mathematics. Very soon we're going to be having mentorship programs where women that are already working in STEM to guide them how to grow in their career, to help them to grow in their career. Because one of the problems we have that we discussed in our previous session was why people fall out of STEM. No mentorship, no guidance. And before you know, they dive, you know, they go into other things that are not STEM related. So we're having this mentorship where we will pair them with women in STEM to, tell them about careers, how to position themselves in the engineering and STEM world. And then assisting with research projects at a university. I just told you I used to work in a lab. I was working on a research project, even though it was paid, but I've also worked on an unpaid project while I was in university. And I was telling my assistants the other day that these are the kind of things we do not do that can later impact our future. For example, you feel like, why should I was telling her that, for example, if when you were in 200 level, you were volunteering to help a final year student doing their project, you say, okay, let's assume final year student's name is Ngozi. Ngozi, you're working in the lab. You're going to be here for like 3 months while you're doing your final year project. Can I be coming to the lab to work with you? You do that for Ngozi in your 200 level. In 300 level, you find someone else, assuming the person's name is Mary. You work with Mary for throughout her project. You help her in the lab. In your 400 level, you probably be on IT, so you will not be there. But do you know that in the space of time that you've spent in the lab, you'd have gained a lot of experience. By the time you're doing your final year project, your own, you have clarity. You know how to work in the lab. You know how to even write a project. You will not struggle because you've been doing it. I remember when we were in school, some people used to do it as hustle, helping people, other people to do final year projects. By the time it gets to their own turn, it's a walk in the park for them because they already know how to do the project. So, like, even volunteering your time at a university to work on a research project, it doesn't matter why you're in school, why you're out of school, is very helpful. And then raising awareness about STEM. So why is it even important to volunteer? I just spoke about it earlier. You gain work experience. When you're volunteering, all the jobs that I have done in the last couple of years of my life, I got them because of volunteering, the skills I gained from volunteering. Because all the volunteer work I've done that is relevant to the job I'm applying for, I put it in my CV. Like, I volunteered with so and so and so and so. For example, when I was in 400 level, I volunteered I in my department as welfare director. What will a welfare director typically do? They will organize meetings, they will make sure if there's an event, they will do event organization, management, they will build communication skills, organization skills, leadership, all those skills. If they're find a way to tailor it to the job. And you can see that, oh, I've worked to lead close to how many people were in NIMEC then? Probably 400, 500 students in total. If someone sees that you've been able to be a welfare director managing 500 people, do you think there's which kind of work is he going to bring that you cannot do? You also build in demand skills. It's through volunteering with my fellowship in university that I've learned things like events coordination, public speaking, communication. You learn all those things because you lead people, you work with people, you grow your network is another advantage. All those women that if you go on on our Instagram page and see all those people that I've invited to come and speak, that's how I'm expanding my network. I invite them to come and speak. I now know them. They now know me. They recommend me for stuff. I recommend them for stuff. I can reach out to them. Even this whole volunteer program, I reached out to a few of them to review it, give me feedback, you know. So you grow your network. And most important of all, everybody's in this world for a reason to make impacts, positive impacts, to leave a mark in the life of other people. So if not for anything, for the fact that you are contributing to somebody's success tomorrow, is very important to volunteer. Now, what skills will you pick up when you volunteer? You learn how to solve problems. So many problems will arise. How do we do this? How do we fix this? How do we do that? You learn time management, how to manage time. A lot of us are not good time managers from what I can see because we arrived at this training very late. But let's say you were going to a school or you are tutoring people and you said you are going to start by 5 and the children are there waiting for you. So it teaches you discipline and time management, collaboration skills, exactly how to solve problems, collaboration, how to collaborate with people. In this volunteer program, you work with other people as a team or you work as an individual. You learn leadership skills. One very important leadership skill is even self leadership. It's not even leading other people, it's leading yourself, committing to something and seeing it through till the end. You learn communication, you learn event planning because most of what we do is around events and so you learn how to plan an event. Tomorrow's training will cover planning and executing. So you learn more about that tomorrow. What makes an exceptional volunteer? How do you shine through this volunteering thing? What makes you shine? First is that you're adaptable, right? You can adapt to different situations. You are reliable. People can trust you with stuff and you will deliver. You are flexible. You're not rigid. When circumstances change, you know how to make sure that things get done with the new circumstance. You're empathetic. You put yourself in the shoes of the people you are volunteering for. For example, you're teaching mathematics to some secondary school children. You probably studied engineering or chemistry. So you've done years of mathematics. So obviously, I want to assume that long division is something that will come very easily to you because obviously for someone that's spent years doing calculus, what is long division or quadratic equation? But then because you're teaching children that have not done it before, You are more empathetic. You see, you put yourself in their shoes. If you were their age, you obviously wouldn't know those things. You are also patient, and then you are committed. Now, volunteering results. This is a picture from one of our volunteer campaigns that we did at a government secondary school in Nyanya. And it was an opportunity to shape the lives of these girls. They were very happy. Most of them wouldn't have ever seen someone who is just like them, that is from their area. So I believe that it's an opportunity for you to inspire people, as an opportunity for you to inspire people. You work with like-minded people, you gain valuable skills, and you also offer mentorship to these young girls. In as much as in your own life, you need a mentor, you need someone ahead of you. It's the same way these young girls need someone like you to guide them to even get to where you are present. Now, what do our volunteers do? They provide one-on-one or group guidance to young girls. They assist with planning and executing our events, workshops, conferences, community outreach activities, and they provide administrative tasks. As I said earlier when I was welcoming you, I told you that we do a lot of data entry. We collect a lot of data to understand this problem that we are solving and to know if we're even making improvements. Tomorrow we'll dive more into data and reporting. So make sure that you are there on time. Now, as a volunteer, you work as an individual sometimes, and other times you'll be required to work as part of a team. So you must be willing to work with coordinators, you must be willing to follow reporting lines, and you must be willing to give feedback and receive feedback. Because one thing I've learned from working with people, some people like to give feedback, but they don't like to receive feedback. Whenever you tell them you would have done this better, they feel like you're just attacking them. Although there's a good and better way to give feedback, and it will not in a way that sounds accusatory or like you're attacking the person. Now, I told you that we collect a lot of data, and we do that because we like to measure our impact, how much impact we've made. So for example, if you did an education based campaign and maybe you tutor children, you know the number of beneficiaries and what the long-term effects of what you've done would be, which is improve literacy in maybe physics or mathematics. If you from a computer science background and you did an ICT training, you had 300 participants, the long-term effect is that you've equipped them with IT skills. If you're from a health background and you probably done a nutrition workshop to teach people how to feed better, especially in this current economy, you would have created, food awareness. Now, this is the team representing us. As a volunteer, when you go out, you're no longer representing just yourself, but you're representing the STEM Ladies Summit. And so whatever you do publicly or privately while volunteering affects how people see us as an organization. You are required to, as a volunteer, act respectfully at all times and during activities, communicate clearly and professionally. We'll do a lot of training about communications. We have a lot of templates, so you don't have to overthink. Yes, Emanuela, I can see your message. And then you have to uphold our organization's values. Punctuality and reliability are things that we hold very dear. And then dressing appropriately. You dress how you want to be addressed. You dress how you want people to perceive you. It's very important for us that we want people to perceive our organization the right way. And so looking and dressing appropriately is important for us. And then you use approved messaging while talking. We'll learn a lot more about using approved and communicating, as an organization. Then we learn now about ethical volunteering. Now there's two types of volunteering. There's just volunteering to carry body and go there. And then there's volunteering that you're doing from the depth of your heart. Now, when you are volunteering from a good place with the right intentions, that's when it's ethical volunteering. And ethical volunteering requires that you are honest about your availability and capacity. If, say, If, for example, you need to be there on Monday and Monday is not coming, you need to say outrightly that I'm not able to do Mondays. For example, a lot of people, when filling out their form, said, I can volunteer 10 hours a week, and they're not even here today for the training, not the volunteering exercise, but like even the training, they're not even able to commit 30 minutes of their time. We value, reliability a lot. And then respecting confidentiality. You work with a lot of children, and so confidentiality is something that's very important. Then treating everyone with dignity and fairness also is very important. Conflicts of interest need to be noted. If you are at a place and they don't want you, you need to perceive it, or if you are even told, you need to take note of it and act responsibly. Then using resources. Oftentimes, we know that it can be a burden for our volunteers. And so when people are going out to volunteer, we support them with, like, providing transport. If they need to, present something to the children, we provide a lot of support in that sense. I told you that I took it upon myself to raise funds for calculators for some children. So when those calculators are given, you don't go and start sharing it to your family members. You remember that it's for the people that you're serving. And accountability, on the other hand, means showing up when you commit. When you said, I will come for this thing, you commit and you show up. You complete assigned tasks on time. Communicate early if you cannot meet a commitment. Please, this is very important to us. If you cannot meet a commitment, if for some reason, please communicate early. Accept responsibility for mistakes, because, as I said, some people like to give feedback, but they are not very good with receiving feedback. So when there's a mistake, it's very good, it's a good habit to accept them and find a way to improve, and then provide updates. It's not good when you're working with somebody and you just leave them in limbo, they don't even know what is going on. So as you progress, for example, you were going to a school to organize a campaign to inspire girls about STEM. And we on this end, we're waiting for feedback. Have you sent a letter to the principal? Have they given you feedback? Have they agreed for you to come? What stage is important that you update, give updates. Now, how is this important for, after all these things I've talked about, is how it's important for us and as an organization. But then for you on this other end, what do you stand to gain from volunteering with us? Well, volunteering with us is work. And just the same way you gain work experience from doing work, you gain work experience from volunteering with us. Now, I'm going to explain briefly how to use this experience you gain on your CV, how to list it properly. This is a good example. So, for example, you are a volunteer outreach facilitator. So this is the way to list what you've done. Supported STEM outreach for girls across local schools, assisted in planning and delivering educational workshop for 300 girls, for 50 girls. It's always helpful when you write your responsibilities on your CV to include some numbers so that people can know how many people you've served or worked for or work with. You've developed communication, leadership, and teamwork skills. So, in conclusion, I would say that volunteering with the STEM Lady Summit is going to be a very good use of your time. You have the opportunity to inspire a lot of girls that really need this inspiration to succeed in their life and in their career. And if not for any other thing, I don't know if we are familiar with the Sustainable Development Goals. Are we familiar with the Sustainable Development Goals? Can we hear me? Are we familiar with? Yes. Okay. For us, we are focused on SDG 5 and SDG 7, which is quality education and gender equality. So we are at the nexus of quality education and gender equality. There was an advice one of my mentors gave me. She said, if you don't have a reason for living, like you don't have a purpose, you should tie whatever inspiration you have to do something to the sustainable development goals, because those goals were enumerated to see how we can improve life on this planet. So how what are you doing to improve life on the planet? Me, I've chosen that. I feel like life can be improved through education, because when you educate people, you remove them from poverty, which is even SDG 1. If someone's properly educated, they can find a means to survive ethically. So that is that. And then I see that there's a lot of marginalization of women in one area of life or the other. But then, even so, education removes or reduces poverty in women, because a woman who's educated will not want to just leave herself careless. She want to work, earn a living. And it's very good for a woman to earn a living. Very good for, I can't overemphasize how important it is to remove women from poverty. So tie your goals to the one of the SDGs. For now, you're volunteering with us, and we are tied to quality education and gender equality. Maybe long term, you might decide to tie your goals to something else. But for now, this volunteering exercise gives you an opportunity to contribute to improving the lives of women and girls in your community by providing mentorship, providing yourself as a role model, and even a few resources that we can afford to get across to them. So I'm happy that you're here, and I hope that we can make the most of our time together. Please kindly follow us on our social media platforms. You can reach out to us whenever you can refer us to other people as well, and you can let us know your thoughts. I'm always there ready to listen, and thank you very much for listening. Right now, I'll take any questions that we have.
Mommy,
Do we have any
mommy.
questions? Do you have any questions or comments? I'll take any questions or comments now. Do we have any questions? Please, I know we should have questions. Assume we have questions. Yeah. So, any questions? Blessing, any questions? Emanuela, any questions? Also, Shima's hand is up. Uh, please kindly ask away.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello, good evening.
Mm, Thank you for this opportunity and to be here today. My question is that considering the pairing, you said we are going to pair us for the voluntary exercise. What about us who are like our locations are not close to each other? How is it going to work?
Okay, that's a very fantastic question. So, I also talked about working individually. So, if location is not a barrier, if you're not close to another volunteer, and you are better executing your project alone, then you can execute it alone. It doesn't matter. Most of what we do is stuff that can be done individually. For example, if you were tutoring, it's something you could do individually. If you needed to go and speak to some girls in a school in just one day, something you can do on your own. So if you are in a in close proximity with another volunteer, then by all means you could pair and go them to get together to give each other support and execute together. But then if you're alone, it's not a problem. You can execute your stuff alone. Have I answered you?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Olije said she has a question. Please ask away.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this opportunity. Thank you. So I have two questions.
Um, please, I'd like to mention that you are not very loud. Could you please increase your volume?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, please.
Okay. Thank you so much. Two questions quickly. The first
Hmm.
question is that
Olija, I think we
you
lost you.
talked
I cannot really hear you.
about the LGBT goal number 5.
Mm.
So how about some of us?
You said how about?
You mentioned goal number 5.
Mm.
So I'm asking where the genders are mixed genders. Like because someone reached out to me sometimes to work with Nigerian military, and I stay in the barrack. So one of the soldiers approached me about starting lessons for the children.
Mm.
So there is ongoing plan to run lessons for both genders.
Mm.
So this now separates them and only like tutor the females. That's not
Mm. Okay. I think if I got your question correctly, you say when you have to, when you someone approached you to tutor both male and female, right? And what do you do in that situation? Am I correct?
yes, that's the first question.
Okay. Well, it's not a problem to tutor male and females. It's not a problem if you're also tutoring males. We don't have a problem. But when you're doing it for on a volunteer basis, for that's maybe you're also volunteering in your community and you're volunteering with us. We the only record we want is of the females. So you can have a group where it's like five boys and three girls, for example. But like when you record that, oh, I'm tutoring a few people in my community, we only want like the record of the girls. And then if we want to go ahead and provide mentorship or support, even monetary support or some form of support, is going to be only for the girls.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so someone had a question before Blessing. Who's that? Yeah, Ebube said you mentioned that our mission is yes to get into STEM by 2030. Laid down plan for we the volunteers. Yes, so far we've been able to reach about 3,000 people. As I said, we have three initiatives that we're currently running. First, the volunteer program. Each of our volunteers is supposed to be able to reach a few people through one means or the other, either through going to schools to talk to girls, organizing tutoring in their community, organizing volunteering at a university research, doing one initiative or the other. All those hours are going to be recorded. All those efforts are going to be recorded and they add up. For example, if Olije speaks to 50 people and Blessing speaks to 20 people and Ojo Ogbane speaks to 20 people, eventually all those figures add up. Do you understand? So far we've been able to on Instagram alone, we have every time we have our talk shows, we have a listenership of close to 3,000 people. So those numbers add up. When I used to go to schools alone, the people currently doing tutoring back home in Nigeria, one of the ladies, she's tutoring about 10 people, 10 ladies, the other girls doing five people. So all those numbers, like we collect them, we record them, and they add up towards our goal. It's not hard and fast that we must reach 10,000, but we have a goal that so we know that we are not relaxing because when we've done two people, we relax because we have a huge goal that we are trying to reach. I hope I've tried to answer. Uh are we working with age range? Well, we are targeting for our volunteer program. We are targeting the age range we work with basically is children from primary school up until secondary school. That's the people we target with our awareness campaigns, with tutoring, with what's it called? Yeah, awareness campaigns and tutoring and even mentorship. For people that we also target people that are in universities and stuff, but we don't do it with the volunteer program. We do it on Let's Get Chatty, which is on Instagram, where we try to target women who are already working, where we target people who are already in the university. So for the volunteer program, we're trying to close the pipeline leaking from primary to secondary. And then with Let's Get Chatty, we are focused more on early career women, you understand? So that's how we are doing it.
Blessing has another question.
Yeah. So she said, what's the long term impact the summit has on the girls that participate? The girls that participate, is it in the volunteer program like you guys, or in the people that we meet as we do our work?
The people we meet as we do our work.
Exactly. So our long term impact, for example, somebody might be dreaming. Do you know that I would have, let me use myself as an example, I would have been a journalist if not for my father maths teacher in secondary school. I was already hell bent on going to be a journalist after I finished secondary school because I like to talk, I like to be in front of the camera, I liked all this kind of stuff. But you know what she told me? She told me that even if you become an engineer, you can still do all those things. And she was right. I'm doing my engineering job and I am still here. So the long term impact is that the seeds that you sow, they don't die. They don't die. The person takes it with them through life. The person takes it with them through life. That person might be teaching physics. The person might be teaching physics. It will help the person to pass WAEC and move on to have, and the person now build the confidence to say, let me go and do computer science. If the person couldn't even pass WAEC, do you think the person will not even, that's where it will end, and the person will probably go and do something else. So it's the seed that we sow, the people carry. We monitor the people we inspire anyway. We go back, we cycle back once in a while to reach out. How are you doing? What are you doing now? Especially those early career women, it's easier to keep in touch with them. But the ones that are in school, we just support them to make sure they remain until university by providing career guidance and mentorship. And then the age range of the people in school, as I said, is primary school girls and secondary school girls. Those are our focus because those are the people that are on their way to uni. Yes.
Okay, ma. Thank you for that answer. I have another question.
Yeah.
And the question is regarding we the volunteers, like someone like me that studied engineering, and
Mm,
I know other ladies studied many other things.
mm.
So if you are assigned to are we sorry, let me just go like this. Are we the volunteers assigned to a specific role based on our skills or interest? Or are we just going to be assigned like it's by using a specific task, like a specific skills,
No.
go teach these ones.
I get you. So the thing is, we have a set of things that we do. Basically, four things that we do. One of the activities we do is organizing awareness campaigns to go and speak to girls in primary and secondary school about STEM careers in general. We have tutoring, which is to teach children in your community, girls in your community, science subjects, physics, chemistry, biology, and mathematics. Then we have either you're volunteering in your university if you're still in uni to with doing research projects, you can do that, or you are organizing awareness campaigns even online to reach people that maybe you're not in a space where you can talk to people. Because I know someone like Olije, she already does she has a non-profit where she does some of those kind of things. So like those, that's our focus. So I feel like whatever skills you have, we in a way fit into this. Or am I wrong? We in a way fit into the things that we do.
You are right. in some
Yeah,
aspects.
correct me if I'm wrong. I don't mind. Correct me if I'm wrong.
What I'm saying that is that if I am going to speak about engineering, I might be very comfortable speaking about, okay, uh, let's say in engineering, we have different aspects. So
Sorry,